Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders have finally reached an extension. Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally done. The Washington Commanders and Terry McLaurin have reached an extension. Terry McLaurin gets a 3-year, $96 million deal. If you're just joining, make sure you hit the like button. We already got 4 people in here. Let's get up to 4 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders have reached an agreement on a 3-year, $96 million deal. Let's freaking go. What's good, man? How are y'all doing on this Monday afternoon? What's good, the Dubs family? Thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah, Gerald. Let's go, man. I am so freaking hyped. Again, if you're just joining, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed and you're in here, go ahead and subscribe. Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders have reached an agreement on a 3-year, $96 million deal. This is way more money than I thought. Way more money than I thought. I did not think Terry McLaurin would get an average annual value of $32 million. This to me is way higher than I thought, but it's done. I am just happy that this deal is done. I'm happy that the team doesn't have to worry about this anymore. That's what I'm happy about. That's what I'm happy about. So it doesn't even matter that this deal is more than we thought. I'm just glad it's done. 10 people in here. Let's get up to 10 likes. Hit the like button. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. 5 away from 2,100. But we have guys like Jaden Daniels, Debo Samuel posting on their story. Listen, I think the Commanders, the team, they may have won in the contract details. The one thing we don't have is the contract details right now. I think Adam Peters won in the contract details, but Terry McLaurin won in the average annual value because he gets $32 million per year. The raise that he gets is crazy. The raise that he gets is just a big, huge raise from last year. So this is a big win for Terry McLaurin. I didn't expect this, but this is super surprising. This is shocking. I'm just glad this thing is done. What's good, William? How are you doing on this Monday afternoon? What's good, William? We needed a number 1 wide receiver, whether it was Terry or another elite wide receiver. Terry, but we got Terry, and here we are, So I'm just glad he's here. I'm just glad he signed. Yes, we did need Terry. The team will start practicing Wednesday. Terry McLaurin will be on the field Wednesday. He will be in activities Wednesday. So we're good. We're good. We're back, and we are ready to go. We needed this to happen, y'all. We needed this to happen. We needed Terry McLaurin to be signed, and it has been finished. Again, shocked by the money that Terry McLaurin got, but he's going to get what he's going to get. I'm shocked by the money that he got, but it is what it is. And Adam Peters and Terry McLaurin agreed to a deal. But I'm just happy that it's done. We're going to kick it tonight, y'all. We're going to kick it tonight. Goal is 1 super chat, $20 or higher. So someone could get that done early. Now, we also do have news that the Commanders are starting to release players. So, oh boy, we actually got a lot of news here. Commanders have released a few players, but we're here to talk about the Terry McLaurin extension. Terry McLaurin been extended by the Washington Commanders. This is such great news for the team. I thought that, we got reports that it was like $28 million, something like that. But no, they gave him $32 million on an average annual salary. We got 11 people in here. Let's get up to 11 likes on the stream. William says, let's pay close attention to the guaranteed money. You are exactly right. You are exactly right. Let's pay really close attention to the guaranteed money, because I think the Commanders and Adam Peters, I think they won on the guaranteed money side of things, but I think Terry McLaurin, I think he won on the side of average annual value. So $32 million per year. I think he won on that side, but I think, the team won more in the guarantees. When we look into this contract, it's going to, it's really going to show us. I think Adam Peters played his cards well. I also think Buddy Baker being able to close on this type of deal is a big deal for him. You know, a lot of people, downing him, hating on him, and he closed this deal. And so good for him. But I'm just happy for Terry McLaurin. This is over. And again, the team starts practicing on Wednesday. So we're actually going to get to see Terry McLaurin on Wednesday. We're going to get to see him, and he's going to be out there. And the ankle injury that he has, the ankle injury that Terry McLaurin has, will probably be gone real quick. That ankle injury is going to be gone real quick. So don't worry about the ankle injury. That was just to kind of cover up for Terry McLaurin. That was to really cover up for Terry McLaurin. So, I'm just glad this thing is done. Now the Commanders did just release Michael Gallup. So they're starting to release players, and I'll make videos about that later. But again, we're here to talk about the Terry news. Earlier this morning, you know what I thought was interesting? Earlier this morning, Adam Schefter said the Commanders and Terry McLaurin are still not close to a deal. Adam Schefter said that. And, we're sitting 2 hours later and there's a deal done. So not a good look on, Schefter's side of things, but, he said what he said. Let's go. What's good, Ryan? Yes, sir. Let's go, man. In reality, it's the 3+ this year. Yeah, it is. And that's a great deal for Terry McLaurin. Gerald P writes, Gallup didn't do anything in the preseason. I agree. Didn't really do much. Didn't impress anyone. So we got 15 people in here. Let's get up to 15 likes on the stream. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Yes, Gallup didn't do anything in the preseason, really. So I'm not surprised that they just released Michael Gallup. Again, I'll make a video about that later. But, yeah, not surprised about Michael Gallup. I mean, it is what it is. That's when you don't show up in the preseason, that's what you get. But I'm just so glad we don't have to talk about guys like Michael Gallup anymore. I'm so glad we don't have to talk about the KJ Osbornes of the world, the Luke McCaffreys of the world. I'm so glad we don't have to talk about the Chris Moores of the world. I'm so glad we can stop talking about these guys and actually get to the season. We actually have Terry McLaurin here. The chemistry, I don't know if the chemistry's hurt. I don't know if the relationship's hurt, but they have 2 or so weeks to build up this chemistry. They have a few weeks for this chemistry, and we got to get him back. Facts, Gallup being our number one, if Terry wasn't extended. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to handle that. So I can't have Gallup as our number one. I'm glad they just released him. I really am glad they just released him. But Terry McLaurin, he's back. Practice starts this week. Couldn't be more excited. We got 17 people in here. Let's get up to 17 likes on the stream. If you're one of the 17 people in here and you're not subscribed, don't hesitate. Go ahead and subscribe. We're 5 away from 2,100. But listen, this is great news for the team. Fantastic news for Terry McLaurin. This was a good showing from Terry McLaurin and Buddy Baker. They closed the deal, $32 million per year. I don't know if they won the deal. I don't know if I'm going to go, that far, but Terry McLaurin has had to deal with a lot. And he's had to deal with 2 team owners, 3 team names, 6 federal and NFL-led investigations of the team and its previous owner. He had to deal with 4 head coaches, including an interim, 4 offensive coordinators, and 11 starting quarterbacks. Pay the man his money. And I get contracts don't work that way. I get contracts aren't from what you did the previous season, but pay the man that money. He deserved this. And, I was fighting for him. He deserved this. He deserved it. And he gets it. He gets the bag. So I'm happy for the dude. I really am. More money than I thought it was going to be on an average annual value slate, but here we are. And Terry McLaurin is, making this amount of money. We now have 18 people in here. Let's get up to 18 likes on the stream. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Let's see what Gerald P says. He says, Terry McLaurin's statue loading, something like Sean Taylor's. Hey, we'll see. You feel me? We'll see. But, he certainly could deserve one by the end of his career. Shout out from LA. David. What's going on, David? Shout out from LA. Hope you're living well over there. Terry Debo about to tear it up. Yep, you're correct on that. Debo posted Terry McLaurin's extension on his Instagram story. Couldn't be more happy to see that. This is legit. We rocking. You feel me? So happy this is done. Let's get up to 20 likes on the stream. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. But 3 years, $96 million. $96 million for Terry. That is a huge raise for Terry McLaurin. I mean, that is from what he was making. That's a huge raise for him. So I'm happy for him. You know, he deserves that money. He deserves that money, as I've said. I think he does. So 3 years, 96. We're locking a guy that is our number one weapon. You know, other than Jaden Daniels, this is our number one weapon in Terry McLaurin. This is our number one weapon. And we locked him up for the future. And we have him for the future now. So I'm rocking with it. You know, I'm rocking with it. And they paid him, a good amount of money. 13 days from the season opener. McLaurin's back, and he signed through 2028. By the way, you see the update on the wide receiver added in cuts. Yes, I talked about that. Michael Gallup has been cut. Yes. And then also, they have cut a few other players. Now, let me get you guys the full list of players they cut. Okay. I know we're here to talk about Terry, but I got to find this real quick. So, okay. All right. So, I'm going to pull this up on my screen and get you all the guys they have cut, and we'll chop it up about these dudes real quick. Ryan says Gallup cut. Yes, I am aware. Thank you guys for notifying me. And let me get this up. So, Commanders have released cornerback Asang Bassi. Actually, Bassi had a great game on Saturday, so I don't know where Bassi went wrong, but he did. Apparently, Michael Gallup. Now, this was a guy that I thought maybe has a chance to make the roster, but apparently he wasn't even close. He's getting cut. You know, it's not even a decision for them, for the team, apparently. So I thought that was interesting. Nick Harris, they literally just signed Nick Harris like 3 days ago, and Nick Harris is already gone. Tackle Tyree Phillips is gone. I'm surprised about that. I thought he would be a contributor this year as a depth piece. Norrell Pollard, not surprised. And then Braylon Sanders, I'm not surprised. So, the big surprise here is Michael Gallup. Just to give my thoughts on him, he is a guy that he's 30 years old. He missed last year, and you bring him back out of retirement, and it didn't work out. You didn't hear any updates about him in the offseason. And it just, it didn't go well from the start. And here we are sitting here on August 25th with him being cut. And yeah, it just didn't fare well. But that's the way it works in the business. By the way, we have 19 people in here. Let's get up to 19 likes on the stream, 20 likes on the stream. Let's get that. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Send a super chat. It would be greatly appreciated. The goal is one $20 super chat. All right, let's get back to the cuts here. Michael Gallup, again, didn't work out. And you know what? I'm not surprised. We didn't hear any updates from him in the offseason. He didn't do much in the preseason. And he just wasn't impressive. And so it didn't surprise me. Tyree Phillips is the other surprising guy, I guess, on here. Tyree Phillips, I mean, he's a guy that I thought he would be a depth piece here. I thought he would be the guy to come in and play well in a depth role, but he just, he wasn't that guy. So he's done. But there are your cuts. Now, let me get back to the comment section here. For y'all. Terry's fantasy points went up half a point. Oh, I might have to go get him on fantasy because I might have to go get him for real. Justin, Luke McCaffrey cut and field goal kicker. Oh, come on, Gerald. Hey, you know me too well, man. You know me too well, man. I was getting excited. I read that. I thought Luke McCaffrey had been cut. I was like, there's no way. And dude, I thought you yeah, I thought you were correct on that. But no, he was just joking. Um man, I actually thought Luke McCaffrey was cut. I was actually getting kind of excited, but you know, field goal kicker, they're gonna bring in comp for him. So I expect to see comp brought in a few days for the field goal kicker. Pretty soon for the field goal kicker for sure. Um, but back to Terry, this is awesome. Um, this is a different level for Terry, and he cashed out the bag. He got the bag he wanted. And so I'm just happy about that. And I'm happy that we could get Terry back. He's going to start practicing on Wednesday with the team. And here we go. No more talk about a wide receiver. We don't need to sign a wide receiver anymore. Like, maybe we need another guy that can stretch the field and go deep. But other than that, like, we just don't need another wide receiver. We just don't need another guy like that. So I'm glad Terry's back. 20 people in here. Let's get up to 20 likes. Hit the like button. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But this is much needed for Terry. This is a big deal for Terry McLaurin. And so I'm just really excited for this, as you guys can tell. And I think I'm surprised again that it was 32 million. I thought, Adam Peters may not back down, and he may say, like, I'm just gonna offer you 28 million, because that was the reports we were getting. But apparently Terry McLaurin was not being offered that. And maybe just in the last week or so, Adam Peters and the team, they had just come up and they said, like, we'll go up to $32 million, but we're gonna have to shake some of these guarantees. We're gonna have to shake some of these these incentives. And so maybe they did something like that to get up to 32 million. Parsons rumored to get a deal done, but I call it cap. Oh, I wonder who said that rumor. If you could drop that in the chat, who said that rumor? Because if it was Adam Schefter, I wouldn't trust him. Like, I wouldn't trust him, because he said Terry McLaurin and the Commanders were far apart this morning, and they weren't. Imagine Parsons, Leuven, Wagner. I mean, that would be crazy. That would be elite status right there. But I don't think the Cowboys are trading Micah Parsons. I also don't think the Commanders would try to acquire Micah Parsons. But I mean, you never know with Adam Peters. He may be trying to bring in a big edge rusher. He may be trying to do something like that. But this Terry McLaurin extension just opens up a lot of windows. You're saving money for the future. You're saving money for the future by giving Terry his extension early. And so I was just so big on getting this thing done, and I needed this done. I wanted this done so bad, and they got it done, because when you spread the money out, like, you save a lot of money. So you had to get this done. You had to get this done as a unit, and it's done. And so I'm just happy about that. And I'm happy that Terry got his bag. Everybody doubted him. And I've said this. Everybody doubted Terry. He got his bag, and he deserves it. He's the number one weapon on this team. As far as stat lines, he's never gone over 1,200 yards. He's never gone over 1,100 yards. But this is a guy that maybe this year, with the money that Terry's got, maybe this year going into the second year with Cliff Kingsbury, maybe there's just something there where he can get 1,400 yards, where he can get 1,500 yards, where he can finally break out. And yes, he's 30. It'd be hard to imagine a world where he would do that, but could we see something like that? Could we see something like that? Congratulations, Terry. Now, ball out. 2 touchdowns against the Giants. Yeah, I think he had 2 touchdowns last year against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. I know Terry had 2 touchdowns against the Ravens last year and one other team, but it might have been the Giants. I think he might have had 2 touchdowns against the Giants. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to be there week 1. Do it. Do it. You have no excuse now not to go out there and ball out. And boy, wouldn't it be a shame to have Terry go out there and get 800 yards. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not saying Terry McLaurin's going to go out there and flatline and get 800 yards, but it would suck, you know. You think he'd be a Devontae Adams? I think at this point Terry McLaurin's better than Devontae Adams, but I think, you know, it's close, right? I think that Devontae Adams was definitely better at a point in his career. Yeah, I would hope that he could get up to a Devontae Adams stat line eventually, like on one of Devontae Adams' best seasons. But that's what I was talking about. I said I want him to get, you know, I want him to reach an elite level because Devontae Adams was once an elite receiver. Terry McLaurin, I just don't think he's an elite receiver, and he's closer to a good receiver instead of a great receiver, you know. So but don't mistake it. I mean, he's a guy that has been great through his career, and he's been great here in Washington. So, but I just said I want him to find that ground and find, you know, a way to get, you know, to get there to 1,400 yards, that elite level. So, yeah, that's what I hope. I hope he can reach that elite level this year. And why not? You know, why not? Why can't he reach that elite level? You feel me? But I'm excited to watch him and Debo this year. You know, him and Debo together. I mean, that's people don't want to. People don't. A lot of people don't talk about him and Debo, but Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel are going to play together this year, and I just think that's a dynamic duo. I think that is a duo that people don't really talk about. I think that um it's crazy, you know. I think they can be really good this year. And now that they have, you know, a guy like Debo Samuel, you have a guy like Debo Samuel, and now you have a guy like Terry McLaurin under contract again, signed again. Like there's a fire lit under him, and he's going to be good this year. No one talks about it. That duo is going to be good this year. Um, but it was cool to see. It was cool to see um Terry McLaurin, his little graphic posted by the NFL, Jaden Daniels and Debo Samuel reposted that on their Instagram story. Thought that was cool to see. You know, Jaden Daniels, they love each other, and you know, I'm so excited for what's to come. What now? You know, where are you at now? Where are the Terry McLaurin haters at now? What about the people that said he was going to get traded? Real Commanders fans knew he was never going to get traded. From the day I went live when Terry McLaurin requested a trade, I said Terry McLaurin's not going to get traded. Now, for Micah Parsons, that could be a different story. He could get traded. But for Terry McLaurin, it was just never going to happen. It was just never in the matrix. It was just never lined up to happen, you know? Just never going to happen. And so I think, you know, I'm glad that that didn't happen. And they never had intentions on trading Terry McLaurin. They never had intentions on it. They never had intentions on doing it. And so people just didn't understand that they never had intentions on trading Terry McLaurin. They were never going to trade him anywhere. And so that's what I respect Adam Peters. You know, he put up a really good fight. Buddy Baker put up a really good fight. And at the end of the day, it was just a contract extension. Just a contract extension. You know, that's all it was. And we came to a resolution. But levels in Madden, which one is Terry if not elite? Pro, all pro, or all Madden? All pro, right? Like Terry is not elite. He's not just a pro. He's an all pro like he made last year. He was second team all pro last year with CeeDee Lamb, with AJ Brown. But he's not on the same level as AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin. He's close to AJ Brown, he's on the same level as AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb. He's really, really close to AJ Brown. I don't think he's that close to CeeDee Lamb. I think CeeDee Lamb clears him by a little bit. And then he's definitely not all Madden. So yeah, I'd go all pro. I just don't. his Madden rating was what, 94? Hold up, let me look it up because I can't really remember. Was it a 94? That seems awfully high for Terry McLaurin's Madden rating. Yeah, 94. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that is a little bit high in my opinion, but I'm happy to see it. I love seeing my guy on there. So, yeah, I'm ecstatic about that rating. I guess if you're putting him at a 94, that'd be like an elite level player if you're going to put him at 94 Madden rating. So, yeah, I guess other people would argue that he's closer to that elite tier, but I just think he's a great receiver. He's not an elite receiver. And I think a lot of people would make that argument, but I'm just glad that this thing is done. And I'm glad that we can not always talk about Terry McLaurin every single day. Every single day it felt like you were talking about Terry McLaurin, some situation that happened. They were far apart on a deal. So many things transpired this offseason. I mean, you had a let's start. You had a holdout. Okay, so you had him coming to OTAs. You had a holdout. You had the media scrum at the Eastern Motors commercial shoot. You had the media scrum there. You had a holdout from training camp. Then you had a hold in from training camp. Then you had a missed joint practice. Then you had him activated off the PUP list. And Dan Quinn basically saying it's time to show up to work. And then you had him missing the preseason game after he was activated off the PUP list. And now he came to the preseason game Saturday and he signed. So I couldn't be more ecstatic, right? Especially Coach DQ not playing Waldo comment. I mean, everybody was fired up about that. Everybody was fired up about it. And, everybody was like, where is Terry? Where's Terry? And he just said, we're not playing Where's Waldo. That's got to be the best comment I've heard in a while. Terry has elite speed and he doesn't drop balls. Not to mention he has the clutch gene, just like Jaden. What part about Terry McLaurin is not elite? So Terry McLaurin as a player is great, okay? He's closer to the great tier than he is to the elite tier. He's closer to guys, and this is what fans don't want to accept. And I'm sorry. This is in my opinion. Doesn't mean we can't be friends if you disagree with me. But this is what I think fans don't want to accept. I think Terry McLaurin is closer to a Courtland Sutton, to a T. Higgins, to even at this point a Tyreek Hill than he is to an A.J. Brown, to a CeeDee Lamb, to a Justin Jefferson, to a Jamar Chase. I think Terry McLaurin's closer to the good tier than the elite tier. That's all I was trying to say there. But you're right. He does have all those genes, right? He does have all those genes. So, but Terry McLaurin is the only part that makes him not elite it's not the touchdowns. He had the second most touchdowns last year. It is the fact that he has not cracked. And I understand you've had terrible quarterback play. I totally take that into consideration. But you have never cracked over 1,200 yards in your career. The difference between some of the other guys is Jamar Chase had 1,700 yards last year and 17 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, 1,600 yards every year. That's why those guys are elite. And if Terry McLaurin goes out there and cracks 1,600 to 1,700 yards this year, for sure he's elite. He's probably the best receiver in the league, but I just have not seen him be elite yet. That's the fact about him that's not elite, is he hasn't cracked that number of yards. He's done great in touchdowns, but not that number of yards. Almost seems like Terry is an excellent number 2 wide receiver to put in a number 1 role. Yeah, we've had this conversation before, and I'm just not of the mindset that Terry McLaurin is a wide receiver 2. I think he's always been a wide receiver 1 in my eyes, and I think he's a top 10 wide receiver 1 in this league. There's a lot of people make an argument Malik Neighbors is already better than Terry McLaurin. No, he's not. No, he's not. I was honestly, when the coaches, executives, and general managers, they ranked Terry McLaurin 11 on their receivers list, I was mad. I was mad because I just I think Terry's top 10, and I think he has been for a while, right? Because Higgins is 2 and others. Yeah, and Chris Godwin, T. Higgins is number 2. Like, I get that, but on some teams, those guys would be wide receiver ones as well. And when Terry McLaurin came into Washington, all he had to do was do a little bit, and he was the wide receiver one. Those guys, Higgins has Jamar Chase in front of him. Chris Godwin has Mike Evans in front of him. So Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, the Patriots offered him a lot of money. They offered him a lot of money. And he said, I'm going to stick in Tampa Bay. Now he can act like a commander instead of a YM and lock back in more money, more problems. Yeah, I agree. The incognito at Saturday's game with the hood up, I mean, that was bad, right? But we have a super chat goal here. I'm trying to hit one super chat today of $20 or more. So if we could do that, if anybody could just be generous with their money, I would appreciate that. Also hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. But one $20 super chat is the goal for today. Yeah. Yeah. So 3 years, $96 million it is. 3 years, $96 million it is. It's done. It's over with. And we can play football now. We can focus on playing football now. And so that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about. We can actually play football now. And they can hit the field with confidence. And Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, they can get their chemistry back flowing. Let's get to 20 likes on the stream. Also hit the subscribe button. 3 subscribers away from 2,100. Congrats on signing an old man. He's 29, he's 29 years old, but he's old. He's 29 years old, but he's old, apparently. Hey, man, I'm just glad we don't have DK Metcalf and we didn't overpay DK Metcalf, because I know you're a Steelers fan, buddy. But I'm just glad we didn't overpay Terry McLaurin. I think we gave him the right amount of money, to be honest. I think we gave the exact a right amount of money. But when you look at the guarantees, like, it's probably going to favor. I would just be prepared. It's probably going to favor Adam Peters. The guarantees are. But I think the average annual value would favor Terry McLaurin, obviously just looking at the contract, right? That's going to favor Terry. So that's going to be exciting for him. The average annual value. And you can put your name on the sheet of, guys that make over $30 million a year. And that's special for him. He deserves it. Yo, Gerald P. Appreciate you, man. Hey, man. Appreciate you for the $20 donation. Really appreciate you for your generosity. We hit the goal on the live stream already. Appreciate you, Gerald, for the 20-piece. Appreciate you for coming through, sending it. Thank you for being generous with your money. Really appreciate you. That's going to help out the channel a ton. Thank you for kicking it with me the whole live stream, to all these comments, all these likes that you've been given. Thank you for showing up every single day. Thank you for the $20 super chat. That is the biggest super chat I've ever gotten. So we're making our way up there. Appreciate you, Gerald. Thank you. On the day that Terry McLaurin gets his extension, we get a $20 super chat. So excited about that. But I'm making money just like Terry. $20 super chat. Appreciate you, man. But all jokes aside, 3 years, $96 million. No problem. Appreciate you for keep up the good work. Appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the support recently. Thanks a lot for that. But yeah, 3 years, $96 million. We finally have Terry McLaurin signed and extended. And here we go. Here we go. And we are going to start the season on a high note with Terry, right? High note with Terry. And so I'm excited about that. But I'm glad we hit the goal on this live stream. Glad we hit the goal on the live stream. Let's see if the Commanders went back to work on any more signings. So, see if the Commanders went to work on any more signings because or cuts. Sorry, cuts. We'll see if they went to work on any of those because I know they were doing that. Let's see. It still just looks like Michael Gallup was the guy they just cut, and yeah, and a few others as well. So, that's really what they're up to now. But cuts are tomorrow at 4:00 tomorrow. You have to have oh, see you, Gerald. I gotta go. See you later. Hey, see you next time, man. Really appreciate you. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day, man. Knowing that Terry is under contract. Appreciate you, man. Are cuts tomorrow for everyone? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I know for the Commanders it's 4:00. I think it's probably for everyone. I think it would probably be for everyone. 4:00 tomorrow for the Commanders, though. But we already released Michael Gallup. We released a few depth guys I was surprised about. But other than that, not really surprised about anyone in particular. So let's we'll see though. We'll see. I'm sure there's more cuts gonna come out tonight for sure. But thank God that the Terry Mclaurin extension is over. The Terry Mclaurin. Well, that's a good question. How many sacks do I want from Von Miller? That's a good question there. So I'm excited for Von Miller. I'm excited what he can bring this year. I want realistically 6 sacks from Von Miller. He had 6 sacks last year in Buffalo, and he had the fastest pass rush get off last year. He still can bend the corner as always. So he's still a good player. I still expect him. I still have high aspirations for him. So I need him to go. I need him to give me at least 6 sacks this year. Now, if we're talking anything over 6, I think that's a stretch. Maybe even to some people, 6 sacks is a stretch. But I would love to see 6 sacks from Von Miller this year, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being honest, I would love to see 6 sacks from Von Miller. That would be awesome if he could give us that contribution, but we'll see. That's just a signing to help us out and get us, closer to a Super Bowl this year. That's kind of what the signing is. That's what I anticipate the signing to be. If you have not hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We're 3 away from 2,100 subscribers. Thank you for this community. They also need to blitz Louvu more and keep Wagner back. That's what they're gonna do. Yeah, that's the plan that they're gonna use this year. Is what they've been doing in practice. They have been keeping Frankie Louvu in more of a pass rusher position, and they have had Bobby Wagner back more. Hopefully Louvu doesn't strike again. Hey, he was the preseason game Saturday, that was ugly. That penalty he had on the opening drive, that was ugly. Gave the Ravens a first down, that was awful. But he's fine, man. He was just trying to stop the tush push last year. Like, I get it. I get it. So, yeah, but hopefully he doesn't strike again. Yeah, man, but I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. Terry Mclaurin is back. And people said there was going to be a trade. People said that there was going to be this hurt relationship between the Commanders and Terry. And I just don't think that's the case. I think money fixed it. Also, since Wagner is older, keeping him back can help his pitch count. Yeah. And he played like 90% of the snaps last year. He's going to have to play a lot of that again. So, yeah, definitely. And we don't blitz Wagner like a lot at all. So, yeah, that'll help his pitch count. Need Terry McLaurin back practicing immediately. So their first practice, so after roster cuts tomorrow at 4 o'clock, the Commanders' first practice is Wednesday. And I have heard from Nikki Javala of the Washington Post. She said that Terry McLaurin is going to go full on Wednesday. So we'll see Terry McLaurin out there at practice Wednesday, and we'll get to gear up. There's going to be about 10 days till the season starts then. Also, gotta give love to Tyson Bagent. Yeah, y'all see. Sorry about that. How do I get? Okay. Sorry, this thing's clicking. Okay. Yeah, you gotta give Tyson Bagent some love, man. Y'all saw the interview of Tyson Bagent crying. That hit. Especially him living in Martinsburg, and yeah, that was an emotional interview. That was a good interview though. Yeah, gotta give love to Tyson. Love that dude, man. Love Tyson Bagent for sure. But back to Terry McLaurin. The next goal for Terry is we're gonna have to see the contract details. Where are we at with the contract details? That's gonna be my question. Is what do the contract details look like? Did Terry McLaurin win this contract, or did the Commanders win this contract? That's what we're gonna find out with these contract details that hopefully will be out later today. Like maybe. And hopefully, yeah, they'll be out later today. And we can get some sort of info from there. But I don't know if they're gonna be out later today. As a Steeler fan, it gets me mad that Cam Hayward gets mad for playing for $15 million a year and isn't grateful for his money. Yeah, but he should be making more than that, though. He should. We got 22 people in the chat. If you're just joining and you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you're just joining, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get to 30 likes on this stream. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. 3 subscribers away from 1,000 or 2,100. Terry won this unless the guarantee is lower. Yeah. Right now, it looks like Terry McLaurin won the contract. But, yeah, we'll see what the guarantees are. If the guarantees are, not great for Terry, then we'll find out what it really looks like. No, he's ancient and about to retire. I understand if he was young. Yeah, I don't follow the Steelers, so I didn't really know. I knew he was old, but he's a dog. Like, he should be getting paid a lot more. Also, who's ready for Terry McLaurin versus Deonte Banks week 1? Fry that boy. Terry McLaurin's going to absolutely fry Deonte Banks week 1. I don't care. I mean, if you say Deonte Banks has ever locked down Terry McLaurin, you're just smoking crack. Because Terry McLaurin, he seems like he smokes Deonte Banks every single time we match up. Every time we have a matchup against the Giants, he smokes him. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Terry definitely won the contract, but at the same time, you're not going to win a Super Bowl without a receiver 1. So credit to the Commanders front office. Yeah, I said, we've talked about this contract for so long, but I said, like, we have to get this dude under contract. I don't care. We have to extend this dude. I need him extended because at the end of the day, I don't care. He's our number 1 weapon. We have to have him this year. If there's no Terry McLaurin, there's no Super Bowl. So you can't trade him or do any of that. Mr. Bojangles, $30 million signing bonus. Yeah, I saw that. $30 million signing bonus, but it really doesn't do much. I just am intrigued by the guarantees. What are the guarantees going to look like for this situation? What are the guarantees going to look like? Because I can tell you, DK Metcalf's guarantees in his contract, they suck. They're terrible guarantees. But Terry McLaurin, he's probably going to have a little bit better guarantees than DK. I don't know how much better it's going to be. Because DK was all about the average annual per year stuff. The Steelers wanted to show that off. Terry, I don't know. Man, I wish we had Terry versus Jair Alexander week 2. Terry fried Alexander 2 years ago versus the Packers. I was at that game. Yep, I was at that game, man. I was at the Packers game, and I literally watched with my own eyes Terry McLaurin blow past Jair. First drive out of the second half, the Commanders scored. Taylor Heineke to Terry McLaurin. I was at that game. I love that game. We were screaming, "Go Pack, go!" after we beat them. That was the best. That was the best, man. I love that game. That was probably my favorite game that I've ever been to. Have or will you do season predictions, win losses for Washington's games? Yes. Yep. I will for sure do a season prediction for Washington. Yes. But I've not done it yet. We will get to that. We'll get to that in a few days, man. It's going to get spicy on the channel soon. DK being paid like a top 5 when in reality he's top 15. Yeah, he's top 15. He's not, he's not top 10. Terry McLaurin is better than DK Metcalf for sure. Bit late, but congrats on 2K subs. Appreciate you, man. And you've been rocking with me since the start. Like, you've been one of the best subscribers. Like, you comment on every live stream. You have been around for so long. So I really appreciate you. You're one of the guys that made this happen, And now I hit, like, last Thursday, I hit 2,000 subs. We're already almost at 2,100. We're 3 away. So, yeah, this thing's growing fast, man. You were also at the game where Russ cooked Yins. Don't remind me. Because we had terrible cornerback play. Terrible. Now we don't have that. We actually have a real GM, and we actually have guys that can get it done. So, who cares? That's in the past. We will face Russell Wilson week 1. I'm going to the week 1 game. Y'all, against the Giants. I better not see an in-person loss versus the Giants, but I don't think that's going to happen. Cool Hand Lou. Hail to the Commanders. Facts. Hail to the Washington Commanders, man. Command the Field. Thank you for being a channel member. What's good, young buck? It's a good day. Facts. You are correct. It's a great Monday. Terry McLaurin has been extended by the Washington Commanders. What are tickets for that? I'm not going to give out the exact price, but I'll just say it's expensive. You guys freaking bully the poor Giants year in and year out. Yeah, the Giants, they suck, swept them last year. We're going to do it again this year. Terry deserved this money for a while. He is one of the best contested catchers in the league. And with JD5, he's only going to get better. Yeah, he's probably is the best contested catcher in the league. Like, if I'm going to be honest. He is only going to get better with JD5, and he finally has a competent quarterback. So I'm excited, man. But yeah, so he's only going to get better with JD5. So I'm just excited about that. Excited about the future of this team. Excited about, what Terry can bring to the table this year. I know he always balls out. He always does good. So it's going to be fun. I got to go to basketball practice. So have a good one. Yeah, man. Have a good one. Good luck. Good luck, man. 32 million a year was way more than I expected, but honestly, at least we are back in business. Exactly. Like that's well said. That's a well said statement. $32 million a year is way more than anybody expected, but at the end of the day, like, they both signed. Adam Peters, he didn't have to sign this. Terry McLaurin, he didn't have to sign this, and Adam Peters signed it, and so it had to be a good deal for the team. It had to be a good deal for Terry and the team, or for the team, because Adam Peters doesn't back down. He wouldn't back down to this. And so, I just think that there's something in the guarantees that is making this deal a little bit shaky on Terry's end. I'll put it that way. There's something in the guarantees. I think Adam Peters finessed in the guarantees. What's your new thoughts on the running back room right now? Yeah. Listen, I'm a little bit nervous, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited for this room. I think Bill's the running back one. I think he's going to be the running back one, if not C-Rod. So I think that C-Rod is a veteran and he can do anything that B-Rob can do. So I'm not sweating it. Losing B-Rob is not that big of a deal. And also, we were going to cut B-Rob. We were going to cut B-Rob, and we got a 6th-round pick out of a guy that we were going to cut. So I'm good with it. Honestly, Bill will be running back one in the next 2 years at least. Yeah. He might be running back one this year. You know, he might be running back one this year. We'll just have to wait and see. So, I mean, he's ridiculous, dude. What he's been doing, you know, he's ridiculous. So, but we'll have to wait and see. It could be Chris Rodriguez, but I'm glad we don't have to deal with these stupid wide receivers anymore. It's just Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel and Jalen Lane now, you know. And the games we played versus the Bengals run game had flashes. Yeah. Yeah. He had that what was it? First or second drive of the game for the Commanders. You know, Bill was the guy. He took it to the house. And credit to the O-line, it was great blocking, but like he took that thing to the house. So he's really good. He's going to be really good. But that's not the topic of the day. The topic of the day is, oh, by the way, B-Rob had a press conference. Hold up. Let me pull this up for y'all. Hold up. Because B-Rob just had his press conference with the Niners, and he said something shocking, actually. See if I can pull this up. B-Rob just said something actually kind of shocking, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. He said, let me see if I can find this. I'm trying to find it. Shoot. I don't know. All I saw was B-Rob said, based on his production, he's surprised that the Commanders traded him away. So it's crazy. Jermaine Wood says, so Terry's the reason Washington's going to the Super Bowl. He was there last year and they didn't go. The defense will be the reason, and winning enough games with that hard schedule will get them there. But yeah, this team is way better than last year. Like, the offense around Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels is way better. Plus, they're going into the second year in a scheme with Cliff Kingsbury. Like, there's a lot of factors, you know. But if y'all just joined, make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Without a wide receiver one, what can the offense do? Even if defense wins championships, we need a wide receiver one, correct? Like, if we didn't have Terry McLaurin this year, the shot of a Super Bowl would be even less, you know, than what it already is. Like, you know, I think we're Super Bowl contenders, but without Terry, like, we would definitely not be Super Bowl contenders at all. We wouldn't have that shot. So, you know, like, but so that's why we needed Terry. Like, we needed Terry bad. Not that I ever thought he was going to leave or get traded, but I just thought, you know, it was getting bad. It was getting bad without, you know, with what had been transpiring and the holdouts, the hold-ins. Like, it had been getting pretty bad with you know, Terry. It had been getting pretty bad. Now all we need is Noah Brown to stay healthy and we can make a run. Exactly. That's the other thing. 85 has to stay healthy. 85, like, we have to be able to rely on him. And he gets hurt every year. So how reliable is Noah Brown? I don't know. Because he gets hurt every year. But him and Terry are the only guys that can stretch the field and go down the field deep and catch footballs. Like, Deebo Samuel is not a specialist in going down the field and doing that. Jalen Lane is not a specialist. Like, we mostly have slot wide receivers on this roster. Noah Brown has to stay healthy because him and Terry are the only guys that can stretch the field, go up and head top someone. You know, that's what makes them so important. That's what makes them so important. So, we need him to stay healthy. You're correct. If you're in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. 4 away from 2,100. If you have not hit the like button yet, go ahead and hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. And Terry McLaurin and the Commanders reach a 3-year, $96 million deal if you're just joining. Jalen Lane could be something like Terry. Could he? Could he? Because he's a slot guy. So I just don't know. Their speed is there to run downfield. For Jalen Lane, honestly, it is there. But, like, are they going to put Jalen Lane in positions to run down the field? Or is he going to play that slot position, which we assume he will, and just kind of run those slant routes, those underneath routes? Like, that's what I would anticipate for year one. But I don't know. You know, I don't own the team. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, it's wide receiver room. Would have loved to see Terry McLaurin get extended before the joint practices, the preseason, but nonetheless, the deal is done. We need more people like Terry. Exactly. We need more people like Terry. And that was going to be the thing. That was going to be the thing. If they didn't get something done, if there was no resolution to this contract extension, that was the thing. We don't have enough people like Terry. We don't have many guys that fit the Commander tag. We don't have many guys that can catch the football like Terry. We don't have any guys that can catch the football like Terry. Like, he's just one of a kind. You know, he's different. That's what I've been saying. He's different. Terry's different. You know, he's a different animal. Now that he has his money, like, that dude's going to be on rails this year. That dude's going to be on rails this year. We could get someone in the draft. Yeah. But improving the defense is easier because we have vets on the defense that will build the future starters. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right about that. You know, the vets will build the future starters. There is future starters on this team. Like, Ja'Cory Brooks could be a future semi-Terry McLaurin. Just his ability to go downfield, his contested catch ability. Like, I just need him to get developed, you know? But yeah, they're going to draft a guy soon. They're probably going to draft a guy next draft because we're getting to the point where Terry is a little bit older, you know? And yes, he's here for the next 3 years now, but he's getting older, and they're going to have to do something about that. If you're just joining, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get to 30 likes on the stream. If you were in here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. About 3 away from 2,100. Appreciate y'all for joining me this afternoon. Hail to the Washington Commanders, as always, though, you know? As we wait for the contract details to come out on this Terry McLaurin situation. That's the only thing left that we have to dive into. We're just going to wait for the Terry McLaurin contract details. Also, Commanders are making cuts, and they've made a few surprise cuts. So maybe I'll make a video about all the cuts they made because they cut, you know, a few important players. Terry will get at least 14 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. I like that prediction. You know, he had 1,096 yards last year. He had 14 touchdowns in the regular season last year and a touchdown in every single playoff game last year. I like the prediction. Honestly, 1,200 yards gets the job done. We could go to the Super Bowl with 1,200-yard receiver, right? We could probably do that. So, all right, y'all. Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders reach a 3-year, $96 million deal. This is over. It's over. We don't have to worry about it anymore. This situation is over. Terry McLaurin is extended, and it is over. Thank everyone. Thank you for joining me today, man. Finally over. All this crap is over. But that's all I got for right now, y'all. Hail to the Washington Commanders, as always. Hail to Terry McLaurin. Hail to Adam Peters. Hail to this team. I'll see you on the next one. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for a video later because I'm going to make a video about who the Commanders just cut. They cut Michael Gallup. They cut a few other players that I thought were surprising. I'll go make a video on that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That may come out tonight, probably tonight. Or if I don't decide to make a video, I'll update y'all on the community page. But that's going to do it for me. I could see 17 touchdowns for 17. Honestly, yeah, facts. Jamar Chase had 17 touchdowns. Hail to our Commanders. Thank you all for joining this channel. Our channel's lit. And I call it our channel because y'all make this run. So hail to Washington Commanders. As always, Terry McLaurin and the Commanders reach a contract extension. That's going to do it for me. Keep your eyes peeled for the video.